What is shaking, YouTube? It's the Angel of Authenticity here. Live from top of the motorcycle shop. I hope everybody's good tonight. I got my thing 1 and thing 2 pajamas on. That's probably my outfit for the next, I don't know, few weeks until my motorcycle's not frozen in a freaking puddle. On top of a hill with 2 foot of snow on it. Today's a great day. I just want to give thanks to the all things unknown and all things unseen, all things we're not aware of, and all things that we have to look forward to. I'm going to give thanks and gratitude for that. And also, if it's not worth giving thanks for, then I guess it's worth having some sympathy and praying for. So, I don't know. I just want to give thanks to because amazing things are unfolding in my life, and I'm on the precipice of doing big things, man. Like, we're doing big things right now, man. Some could argue otherwise, but they ain't got cool pajamas like I do either, probably. Can you even trust somebody that doesn't have a pair of footy pajamas? Like, It just makes me think of 1 and thing 2, which is Dr. Seuss anyway. So it makes me think of the Grinch, and I love the Grinch story because a little bitty girl saves the whole thing, you know, just by her believing in the guy. And she did it in a pair of footy pajamas too. And hey, the puffballs, when you got your rubber boots on, keep your toes warm. It feels kind of weird at first, but then I was like, hell, my feet aren't frozen yet. Using my mind there. I don't know how my dog runs around like that, but he's a beast. I mean, really, how does a dog or a cat run around in the snow for an hour and like not even get frozen? Like, wow. I know they got like, you know, under pads, but still, like, they still got regular skin and fur above that and stuff. He's floshing in puddles just to catch his ball and shit. Crazy, man. Hardcore shit there. Can you guys feel the energy in the air right now? I don't know if it's the solar flares or like planetary. I know for anybody that's counting on some of that stuff, they're going to be sorely mistaken that anything's going to actually like work. You know what I mean? Because you had the full moon and you got all the doodah days, you know, like a lot of people are feeling it, but I feel fantastic, which tells me one thing. There's probably a lot of not fantastic stuff being said for some people out there in the world. Heavens are indeed opening. It is a time of reckoning here, I think. It's not just like with God and spirituality, I don't think at all. I think it's just gotten to that point where as a nation, as people, as husbands and wives and children and, you know, employees and employers, like, we're done. We're getting fed up with it, you know? So I don't think it necessarily means like, just because the heavens are opening, a reckoning comes. But that doesn't mean like you see on all this stupid YouTube shit, like, oh, have a number to the fucking sheriff. You know, he doesn't call the sheriff to be like, oh yeah, you know, this guy over here, he's out of line. He needs no time to like clean up there in the county jail. Like, God doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? So like all these people are delusional. I know that's what people probably think about me sometimes too, but like, you know, you can just tell by their vibration and what they're saying. Like, how long do I gotta wait? You know, they got that attitude that you know damn well that they ain't anointed or appointed or gonna be do anything except for fucking sit there with their thumb up their ass, probably sitting on their hands for the rest of their life waiting for it to come because They're pieces of shit, and you can just tell by the way they talk, you know? No offense to anybody, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. I'm not talking about that kind of bullshit. I'm talking about the real stuff. Like, it's just time. Our earth is shifting. We're shifting and changing, and it's our 250-year anniversary now, and things are just, well, is it really, though? I don't know. They mess with the calendar so much, it's hard to tell. I don't use the calendar personally, so I got two, and I don't use it either. But, like, there's a new addition to my lineage, and I'm really excited and stoked about that. And it's the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life, you know? So, yeah, I got an ear-to-ear grin, just like I did with my first. So that means there's 6 little girls under me running around in the world right now that are direct bloodline. Watch out, America. Here we come. We're going global, though. We are global, baby. I'm just so excited about that, though. I'm so happy. It's just so neat to see life, and like, even if you're not there, and it's there, and it's happening, and all the things that my daughter is going to learn from it, being a mother, and like all the things that you learn, just, I don't know. It's just a really amazing thing, and it's a really neat feeling. I got awesome kids. All my kids are so awesome. Special people. Did you know that, in that book, Dante's Duda, and it talks about the layers of hell, that treason is like the darkest, deepest, worst layer of hell you can go to? Treason. Turn it against your own people, your own kind, the people that help build you, the people that count on you. Treason. Just because somebody does something to you, it doesn't warrant an excuse for you to justify being a shitball person back. That's just going straight down to their level. You know what I mean? And for everybody out there right now that's a manipulative, narcissistic liar, that's the reckoning I was talking about. Them are the reckonings that are happening right now in the world, because what is said in silent and behind closed door and darkness will be shouted from the rooftops for everybody that are left unsilent. So that means everything I've said is going to be known everywhere you go, I don't say things on silent darkness and behind closed doors. That's not my style at all. Never has been. I'll get on YouTube and put it on there first. I'll go live in front of 1 million people before I would just keep and manipulative. Them kind of people are ill, and they need spiritual deliverance. That's their main problem, I believe. I know it to be fact because I have it close to me in my house. My house of friends, I guess you could say, not like in my house, but like, you know what I'm saying? In my circle, I guess you can call it. I do, and I've seen it in people, and it's just really sad. But treason is the worst offense. So in other words, there's a special spot in hell for people that want to turn a lukewarm Christian to that person straddling that fence, man. If you're going to have a different fucking answer when one person walks into the room and another person walks in, or from day to day or week to week, or situation to situation, or it's one way and everybody agrees it's one way until a little heat gets put on and like you're getting pulled over or something like that. And then it's like, oh, the plane goes out the window. Everything's all screwed up now because you got Joe in the back that's freaking out because he owes child support or something. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, if you could do one thing in your life, even if you're a shitball person and you could have done better and you don't think much of yourself, if you have some integrity, you know how to tell the fucking truth, and you're not out plotting and planning against people and being manipulative, and you're loyal, that's all you need, man. If that's all you got, man, you'll make it. These other people aren't going to make it. They're going to have to do this shit all over and over and over and over and over unless they just get thrown in the lake of fire. That's coming. I think that's next, actually. I don't even think they'll get the chance. Pretty much every bad thing that's not on anybody but them, you know? Especially when you get chance after chance, you get warned, you get told, you know? Everything's fair with warning, I always say. But, like, when you get repeated warnings and things and you don't knock it off or you don't try to change or at least, like, sit and reflect on it, like, what do you expect? Because you think you're over people or better than people or, like, you're entitled over people or you got a big lie you got to cover up, so you think that's reason enough to do that? Like, you got to be careful. You never know who you're dealing with. You never know who you're talking to. You know, they say Jesus comes back as a homeless man and a lady. They also say the bride of the church or the bride of Jesus is the church. And I'm like, he hated the church. He was flipping tables over and using his whip on them bitches. He was disgraced by it. So why would they think it's the church? I don't know, man. You know, why wouldn't he? You know, you could have your opinion about it or whatever. He's still a known factual historical figure. If you like it or not, whatever you want to call it, still deserves a bride too, don't you think? When I grow up, I maybe marry Jesus. And name our little babies Mary and Catherine and but Jesus. No, I don't know. That'd be weird though, because he's like my brother, right? I don't know if I can do that. God is in all of us that has the Holy Spirit, and they don't have the devil in us. Like, that would be weird because that's his son. That's even weirder. Whoa, you know. So maybe that's why he doesn't get married. I mean, I don't know. That would be kind of weird. You'd have to marry somebody that was like an alien or something. So it wouldn't be like that. But that'd be like a cat and a dog having a kid. I'm so confused. I'll have to wait till I get to ask this. Like, what about Satan's soul? Doesn't anybody care about his soul? He was an angel, and then he fell, and then do-da, day, whatever you believe. Like, now that's a chore for a Christian. Save Satan's soul. Get him to start turning around and over time, you know? And it could be done. Because it's an all lady. They just wish they could be as cool as we are, man. But they can't. Because they're shitball people doing shitball things. And they think it's shitty now. They haven't seen nothing yet. They're still hard turds, you know what I mean? It's gonna turn to diarrhea soon. They'll turn to diarrhea soon. It won't be long. You know, they're still dealing with hard turds and they think they're in the shit up their ears. Well, they ain't swimming in it yet, and it's not diarrhea. So I'm just saying it's gonna get worse before it gets better. Not for us, so not. I mean, maybe some of y'all, but no, not really. Like if you got them few qualities I mentioned earlier, and you're not ripping people off, and you have a little integrity to you, and you're not a total bitch boy or girl, you know, where you're like, hey, poor me, I cannot. An excuse maker. You got excuses, excuse store, because you've got so many of them, you just open up a secondhand excuse store. I actually want to have a business called that. I thought that would be kind of cool. I don't know. You'd like be a private investigator's office or something. I just like the name of it. I could write names and jingles all day long. It's something I enjoy doing. I feel very distracted right now for some reason. Like my energy's being pulled everywhere. My leg's cramping. I went out and played ball with Blue and got all snowy, so my feet are kind of wet. My puff balls got a little wet. They're cool to look at. This thing one and thing two. I got a lot of friends that look like that usually. That's a 70-mile-an-hour hairdo, I call it. And that's usually what my hair looks like. A fluff going on and stuff, but like it's all. It's like it's sad. It's sad hair. It's not puffy right. I don't got none of the like we do that. Some people use blow dryers and curling irons, and I use a motorcycle. This is God's song. I call it the divine, and I've been mixing. I'm gonna mix the two together. I think my place to exist song and my God song. I don't know, or I'll just play them back to back. I'm not really sure. They're very similar in a lot of ways, so kind of similar. I don't know. Maybe it's probably just because I wrote them back to back. I can tell you the order I wrote all my songs in pretty much because it's a chronological timeline. You know, they say to like think of a picture in your head to remember like a lot of information at one time. Like picture the bear, you know, carrying a xylophone or whatever, you know, in your head with the alphabet and things, and it does work. But yeah, to email me the angel of authenticity at gmail.com with or without the in front of it is fine. Tell me what you want for Christmas. I would love to speak it out into existence, and maybe we can make Christmas wishes. And I look forward to reading them. Please put something in the subject line so I could tell that it's like a YouTuber thing, you know, whatever it is, just something that I could identify. So what do you want for Christmas? Like, it's hard to even think about the things that you want, maybe. And it's important to do that. I was never a window shopper and things, but with manifestation and like visualization, it's super important. It's like when you get used to being a humble person and a simple person over the years, you kind of lose that Christmas magic. And I want to hear what you guys got, what you guys want, and I'll read them. You could be anonymous. You can put your name down, whatever you want to do. Just specify it. Don't write your whole name or something like that at the bottom of the email, and not write that you don't want it read online. And then I probably wouldn't give out your names anyway. I mean, I might say your first name maybe, but like Joe P or something. Like, I don't know. Just whatever you want me to say, just put it on there if you would. If you don't want nothing, then just leave it blank. It's a sign from the official Antarctica location or something. I happen to know who Santa Claus is, and I know where he's at. He takes his job very seriously, too. Alright. I can't concentrate on my guitar. I'm having an ADD fit here. It could be that I've been in my room for like 2 weeks because of the snow. It's been like almost 2 weeks. I bet you it has been. I've never been snowed in this long. I've rode my bike every year. I've never been snowed in for more than a few days. They haven't even put salt on our roads or anything out here. I mean, they look like shit still. Usually after a few days, you know. I mean, usually, you know, it's, yeah. That was then, this is now. Oh, well. The cold I'll do, but I ain't trying to, like, turn my motorcycle into a skabop. Unless I had to. You know, if I was out in it and it starts snowing on you, you're stuck with it. You got to know how to do it, but just go slow. Take your time, and you'll make it. But my bike's super clumsy. I wouldn't even want to chance it. But you have to sometimes when, you know, with the bad weather. So, but to start off in it and to go off, that's just stupid. I'd rather walk, you know. I'll take the tracks right out of town. I'll be like, boom, I'm blowing this popsicle stand, and I'm out of here. Way before I'd get on push my motorcycle, probably. No, I wouldn't. It would fall over just the same. I'm a dork, I know. But anyway, yeah, send me your Christmas wishes. I'd like to hear them. I don't think we think about what we really want because we just think it's so far out of reach sometimes. But you know, there's going to come a time maybe in your life that somebody's going to say, "What do you want?" And if you have no idea, then you might be fucking yourself pretty hardcore. Not that I know from experience or nothing. I'm just saying it's a hard question to answer. What do you want to be? What do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want? You think you know, but like until you do it and you realize I don't want to do that. On to the next thing. Like with me, it kind of like if I like doing lots of things, but like if I had to only do the one, maybe I wouldn't like it anymore. Or like there's some things I wouldn't make money off of, you know. It's just not right to make money off of it. Like I don't know. Then I like to do it, but like if you don't ever think about the things that you want and visualize it and not pretend to have it, but like picture it. You know, you can't picture anything. If you can't picture it first, you won't ever get it. You won't ever have it. That's the truth. It happens in the spirit and in your thoughts, and then it's there in the physical. From my understanding, but that's pretty much how it goes. Unless you're a thief or something, then it's no different really, because it's just going to go back to the original person. You're going to be in jail probably. Value it like that. I mean, so it's so cool you had to have it. Now you're going to go devalue it by 99% of its value. Like retarded, retarded. I just don't see I hate waste, so I don't understand why people do that, but they do it every day. I look at people the same way, you know, like with the potter, like when Jeremiah and the potter's wheel. God told Jeremiah to go down, and he didn't tell him why or nothing, and Jeremiah didn't ask. I think it was Jeremiah. Anyway, he goes down, and he was told to go down and to where the potter was and to watch him. And that's all he would say. That's all he said. So he didn't know what he was watching for, what he was just watching the potter. And he did notice something. He noticed that like the potter was taking all this time to shape and mold these pots and clays. And he would spend all day on it, you know, and then all of a sudden it would collapse on him. Oh, it devastated Jeremiah to watch it. But the old potter was so used to it, you know, and it would fall down and not a scrap went to waste. Not any of it went to waste. He would just take it and he'd start reforming it again. Like it didn't blink an eye at it. And after a couple of times of this, God says, do I not do that with you? Shape and mold you, and you'll become many things before I'm done with you. But nothing ever goes to waste, and nothing is ever in vain for no reason. Am I not the same with you, with building you up into? Nobody knows. Like the potter might not even know what they're quite making yet, you know, but they know when it's right. And through the duration of the shaping process, so it had been a mug, a cup, a bowl, you know, it wanted to be a vase, you know, and like. I like that story because it is the way I look at people. It just seems like there's a lot of throwaway, and that's something I'm not okay with, and I never have been. Everybody's important. Shitball people, they're important too. They're important to make sure that they're in an environment where they can heal their trauma that makes them shitball people, and to foster their healing so they could finally ascend someday. Because until they get on the fucking path, man, unless God just calls it quits and throws them in the lake of fire, you don't want that. And if it's already when You know, you got to do it before the dinner bell. You got to do it before the road closes or the train comes. And I just, it doesn't matter what your beliefs are or where you're from or what your demographics are. Until you do that work, that inner work, as long as you're manipulating people and lying and deceiving and causing trouble in people's lives and wishing harm and sending hitmen or death spells or doodah, low vibration stuff that, you know, you wouldn't catch anybody that was authentic doing. I'm just saying. Or high vibration. It's just not something that we can think like that. We can't even comprehend why people do it, let alone do it ourselves. Like, there's no way, dude. No way. No way. It's hard for us even to process why somebody would be like that. Luke or Ephesians, I can't remember. I think, I don't know, I could be wrong on both, but it is in the Bible for sure. I know that much. We don't fight in the flesh, we fight in the spirit, you know. We're not fighting flesh and bone, you know. That's very true. No matter what you believe, it all happens in the spirit first. And man, spirit's pretty badass. You got all the ascended masters hanging out and stuff like that, and I know a lot about the ascended masters, and I know that what I saw, and I don't believe it to be wrong. Actually, they probably nailed me to a crossover or something one day. You had Jesus and you had the opposition, and in this astral experience I had that God showed me, they were announcing I thought they were saying the Prince of the East because I'm retarded. It was echoing off the desert. It was real dark out, and a few months later, and then I seen Prince of Peace, and I thought, oh, I'm retarded. I told all these people that, like the coolest thing, I was at the origins of the time, the beginning of time, I swear to God. But Jesus and Satan, which Satan means opposition anyway, in that language at that time, and it probably still does in some facets, but like you had all these ascended masters, like 4 or 5 of them anyway, and they were in this like very anybody's face to see like whatever, but Jesus looked like a regular little white baby or like an olive skinned baby. He wasn't like pale with red hair and freckles, I'll tell you that much, you know what I mean? He just looked like a regular, like one of my babies would have, you know. And Satan was like literally he had a little bit of a paler, milkier complexion, and he had baby hair, you know, that little baby hair, and it kind of goes down when it lays down, it kind of goes into a V. He really does have that V. He did have that V when he was a baby. That's probably why they do all those pictures like that, maybe. But they were infants next to each other nonetheless, not crying or nothing. And the ascended masters were freaking out. They wanted to kill him immediately. They knew exactly what it was. And the other half said, no, absolutely, we can't do that. God does not make mistakes. And they deliberated on it, expecting it, but God doesn't make mistakes, you know. And so that was the right decision there. You know, they're like, this is just an infant, and we can't do that. Even if we know it's the opposition, even if it's an infant, look at it, you know, and God doesn't make mistakes. And that was a really powerful shifting point in my life, because about how God keeps the energy pure, so the origins of humanity, and he does that by, I'm not going to say it, we all, you know, you guys all kind of get an idea with the unified consciousness or whatever. I'm not going to go into detail with it, though. I don't want to give away his plan. I don't want to give away any of his secrets here, even though it's kind of knowledge, but I don't want to just blatantly say it like that, because it was some knowledge I was trusted with, and I'm not sure. It's not that I don't think I could, you know what I mean? That's how the origins of humanity stay pure. It's just it comes all back again, literally. It's hard for us to grasp and understand, you know? It's hard for us to comprehend things that are impossible in our realm. All Jesus does is he's casting people out of bodies, and he's trying to explain to these people through the whole Bible on how to recognize a demon in your friend, and like how to cast them out, why you should cast them out, when to cast them out, you know. And everybody misses that. They don't even teach it in any of the religious schools or anything like that, because they're all the opposition as far as I'm concerned. Church is supposed to be a fellowship amongst community members, brothers, wayward travelers. You know, the law of hospitality was such a big deal back then, and I think it should still be. I think that these people that take salaries to be a pastor, because they want to pay for their mortgages and their Cadillacs or whatever they're paying for, it don't matter if it's even a humble church. Like, I don't believe in that. It's not supposed to be like that. You're supposed to take care of the minister's bills and all that, but they also live in the church parsonage. Electric bill, you know, and now we got an internet bill, but, you know, that's it, though. I mean, it's just like, And that's already too much. That's even more than it needs to be. But like, you know what I'm saying? That the minister is not supposed to be taking the tithe money that's for the community and for helping the poor and the people in need and the widows and the orphan children as a salary, and then paying the church secretary. I mean, they get carried away. There's churches now that Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints worth $250 billion, which is when you have all these homeless people that are getting murdered, straight up getting murdered. They're disappeared. They're gone. They got churches with all their flyers up and stuff like that. They were murdered. They've been doing. Eugenics has come back. America won't admit to it, though, like Canada does. They euthanized 10% of the people in the 1 year, and that doesn't count all the people. The 7 times rate for opioid deaths since 2014. That doesn't count the suicide rate going up 150%. That doesn't count all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Violent crime or whatever. The Jesus Christ for Latter-day Saints worth $254 billion, and Joel Osteen's mega church, $300 million. That's just the minister and pastor. That's not even what, I don't think all their assets or anything. I don't, maybe it is, but still, what in the fuck makes you were a minister's son too, like $300 million. You know, if every church took in, there's 770,000 homeless people. They say there's a million, but it's 700,000, I guess the count is. If you made the churches step up, it's 2 homeless people per church. One could mow the lawn, one could clean the inside. You know what I'm saying? That's simple. There would be no homeless. If we would just eat a plant-based diet like we were meant to, like Adam and Eve did, that's what God had Adam and Eve on when they were born. And we don't have carnivore. We have much for eating vegetables as anything. We have flat teeth, people. We're not even supposed to be carnivores. Let's be so honest. That doesn't mean God shuns us and hates us for it, as long as you're not drinking blood. And it says that organs are blood, but that's because it's dirty and it'll make us sick, you know. But He actually made us to be on a plant-based, and you'll feel a lot better if you put death, if you eat and consume death through meat and things like that. That's why we feel like shit. You know, you're literally consuming death. How with that? Yeah, let's really think about that. Nobody ever taught us that. They didn't teach us that. We were taught you were a weirdo, you know. I still get looked at like that because the last couple years now, the processed foods are no good. Like, oh, I lost taste for it all. I asked God to be able to have discernment and to know I could actually take a bite of something now and it just tastes so disgusting because of all the additives and chemicals. It's like sometimes you get an okay batch, and then other times it's so many additives and chemicals and preservatives and literal straight poison. It's disgusting. And it's full of wax too, because they've been slow to our food because they got a notion in their mind that they're going to murder us all again except for a few select, and our bodies will burn better this time. That's a fact. That's why they do that. That's why they're doing it with wax. Which is... Could you imagine sitting around your table of colleagues, whether you're dark or light, male or female, young or old, and contemplating how you would get our bodies, you know, so there would be less cleanup? Like, same thing with our houses. Our houses aren't marble and some of the things, and then there's too many questions when you want to know when was the building built, because here it was found dead in 1882, but it doesn't say when it was built. You know? You notice things like that, and it does make a lot of sense like that. But, like, could you imagine sitting with them people and being like, "Ew, darling, well, baby, I've got it. I'm such a genius. Let's start slowly putting wax in their food, and we could 3D print the food, and it'll look like food and taste like food, but it won't be food, and it'll be full of wax." Like, they are waxy people. Like, there are, like, weirdos like that. They have wax museums and shit like that. They're like type that would come up with a fucking plan like that, and nobody checks them on the table. Oh, well, we can't do that. We can't possibly kill them all, like burn them. Like, no, not only do they do that, they've been slowly and methodically priming us for it, prepping us for it. You know what I mean? Inviting over the rich person that lives down the road, that super wealthy lady, you know, and she don't want to be there, and you can tell she don't want to be there. Like, I don't want to be here. And, like, grooming her so you could steal her purse or something, or start committing fraud on her bank account. You know what I mean? Like, and it being a long drug out thing, you know, years and years and years, slowly watching it. It's like, when I see the person that I suspect that they may be like that, I like to follow them around and see what they buy. It's like, oh, we'll see what they're eating, because we know they ain't eating this shit. You know? Let's be so for real, everybody. Let's be so fucking for real. They ain't eating that shit. So where do they shop at? And then you find yourself low-key stalking the stalkers. Whatever you got to do to survive, I figure. Love your families, people, and don't be scared. Fear is... unalived. Oh man, I'm gonna get cowabunga. Unalived. I hate that. That's really stupid. This is a free country, and these are individual channels. It's no different than being on private property, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know why it's such a big deal. Because it's a word that they don't want people to use, because it's a harsh word for the sensitive folk. What the fuck are you doing on YouTube on my channel then? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, I am a sensitive person, and I'm a very gentle and loving and caring person, but like, a word that I use or choose isn't going to break someone's psyche. And if it does, they were already on a path. Just love your families, love yourself. If you can't take care of yourself first, it's easy to try to quit and give up when it feels like you've lost everything if you don't have any family this holiday season. I just want you guys to know that your children are only a minor for 20% of their life, 25% of your life. You're only with your parents, you know, about the same, you know, depending on your situation. It's not a reason to quit just because you're not with your family, you know, in your 20s or something, or 30s, well, however old you are. Just know that being a parent doesn't have an expiration date. Or not, you know, kids don't really remember most of their childhood, and what they do remember is usually like put in bullshit by the in-laws, and it's lies, and it's just how they remember it. It's not even a lie. Well, sometimes it is, but you know what I'm saying? It's like a memory is only something that you hold. Because my memory, even though we're all looking at the same thing at the same holiday, my memory and what I remember is going to be so different than what the next guy remembers, the next guy remembers. Even when you hear the story every year, it's still totally different than anybody else remembers it. And it's amazing. And that's why families don't get along. I mean, really, they're for the birds. That's why we need soul tribes. That's who we should be hanging out with on the families and stuff like that. I mean, it's not meant to be. We're not meant to. That's the devil fucking shit that he pushes. We're not supposed to be up each other's ass. We're supposed to move on and go away and get married and have our own lives and learn our own lessons and take care of your elders when they get old. And, you know, that should be a given. These things shouldn't have to be written down out there, and they know best, even if they're pieces of shit. You know, if they can't maintain an ability to listen, even if they are pieces of shit, it's an unfortunate thing, but like, they're still going to be a little bit smarter than nothing, you know, than a 3-year-old, say. Maybe. I don't know. My youngest was very smart. I would have trusted her to open up the door and run the books or anything before I would have trusted a lot of the people I know, because her wisdom was just far superior than anything you could ever imagine. She had a sight and a wisdom to her that was special. That is special. And I believe her 2 older sisters that are older than her, that's something God gives you naturally, and it runs strong in my family. So I don't really worry about her in the world, because I know who they are. You don't ever change. People can change their circumstances, their environment, their mind. They could decide that they want better in life or worse in life. But I'm just saying, don't give up just because you're alone this holiday season. Out of the muck and out of the trenches, we are his masterpiece. And just remember, some of us are Pablo Picassos, and others are Norman Rockwells, and other of us are trench art, but the beauty is not going to be seen in it maybe for 20 years. And it can look like a hunk of junk to one person and like an absolute whimsical folk novelty that's worth $1 million to another guy. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But a memory is just something that you remember. That's only, you know, you could not lie, or just choose to remember a different aspect of that, a different angle, a different perception, a different perspective. Because, like I said, being a parent doesn't ever expire. And don't think that your kids aren't going to need you at 30 or 35 or 40, as they go through life and experience tragedies and mishaps and changes. So you need to be there at your best, even if they're not with you. So I guide yourself and pick a goal, pick a hobby. People need more hobbies, and they need to work less and they need more hobbies. Do something you always wanted to do. For once in your life, look at it like the opportunity to not have to serve everybody else and start working on yourself. So when that does come, and maybe they find out they're in the same position as you were, maybe at their age when you were having kids or something, you'll be able to help them, and you'll be in the position to step up and take that leadership role. I don't believe in interfering in people's life. I had my mother with me for like all through my 20s. Just kind of, I don't know. It was weird because she was dating people my age, and like I dated people her age. I don't know. It was just weird. I didn't like it at all. It was really stepping on my toes, and I feel like I was a very loyal daughter. I took care of my mother, though. I mean, I didn't ever make her pay no money, and it's that's how it's supposed to be. Do that to my kids and be up their ass that much. It's really neat to see your kids start growing up and having their own kids. They're taking their time with it a lot more than I was able to have that opportunity to. I had 5 on my hip by the time I was 27. I had 3 by the time I was 21, 22 in a row, just like my song. And there's a lot of injustice going on in the world right now. Don't even think for a minute there's not, because I'm not an excuse maker, and I've taken what I'll eat it in front of an audience so they can learn from it. So maybe one less person will make a mistake. But there's a huge agenda in the world, and it's been being implemented for 15 years, pretty much all my adult life. And it was foreseen that it was going to start happening, and it did. And the numbers prove it. The numbers prove it. And the bottom line is their way is not working. The way our current systems and the tyrants that are imprisoning not only us, but making it so little girls have to go to a man when they get their period because their mother had an agenda against her over money. Over money. And I'm not just saying that because I want to blame the system. I'm saying that because there's proof of it. You got to look at the works. You got to look at the fruit. And oh man, there's going to be a lot of people with some splaining to do in my life. That's all I got to say. The day of reckoning. Bring it on, Lord. Calling in all my angels and ancestors and elders, ascended masters. In the holy name of Jesus, I pray that you walk with us all that are lonely, sad, and broken, and show us the true will for your life so we can meet our highest selves and be the masterpieces that you know that we could be, and that the version of us that you see and not the version that everybody else. Talking about myself like God talks about me, if they're a piece of shit or not, I don't talk bad about people like that. I always give them the benefit of the doubt, especially if they're not there to defend themselves. I started talking about myself how God talks about us, that we're masterpieces, that we're good, that we are worthy, that we're enough, that we're not seated in fear, we're seated instead with courage and power and love and a sound mind. That right there hits at home. Like other humans on the world, or the way that my negative beliefs and thoughts were saying, you can't do it, nobody likes it, you can't sing, it sounds terrible, oh my God, you should go kill yourself, it sounds so bad, how could you even face yourself in the mirror, on and on and on and on and on. Oh, she don't look very divine, you'll have the biggest house in the trailer park, shit like that. Then people that think that they're better and entitled and they got their lids coming off, man, they're going to be crazy nuts here soon. because they're just that stuck up their ass. The audacity of these people. And you can tell them because they make you feel that certain way, you know, and they try to, and don't let anybody make you feel that certain way because we're masterpieces. We don't have fear. You know, they say like blah, blah, blah. No, we're not seated with fear. You can let it get inside of you, sure, but it's not seated. I mean, think about it. That's like, if you hate the radio in your car, you don't go buy a brand new stereo with a big kicker box. You know what I mean? So if you don't want to live in fear, don't allow it in and rebuke it. It's a spirit. Many spirits, many things could cause it, you know, googity boogity boo. But I promise you, your spirit team and your ancestors and your elders and Jesus and God himself, our mighty creator, our divine, beautiful creator, that there's no way that we were an accident. We know this now. I mean, come on. Look at how intricate our design is. And you could totally tell he's the same guy that made the earth, because I could recognize somebody's work when I see it. You know what I mean? It's obviously the same work, you know, it's the same patterns. And like, you know, it was the same guy that did it, right? So why would you be so arrogant and ignorant to think he didn't exist because you want to pick apart some text? It's a moral absolute. You think that everything will be hunky-dory and beautiful and great until you realize you got tricked by the devil and you're bathing in bloody water. And the babies are getting fucking murdered up at the altars. And you see them getting essayed, you know, up the rump and things like that at 6, 7, 2 years old, you know, like sick motherfucking shit that you can't possibly tell me that most of these people, they're ignorant. They just don't even know what they're saying. And so if you don't know and you're not sure, and that's totally cool, because God doesn't want you to be with him if you don't want to be with him. He gives us that choice. He limits his power so he can give us that choice. He limits his power so he can give us that choice, because that's how much he loves us. He wants us to experience it fully, and he experiences it through us as long as we don't invite that. I can go in the dark and the light, because like when you're a certain type of person, the dark, they choose you way ahead of time, way before you're ever born. Every so many generations get one. There's somebody that could be a curse breaker, somebody to the salvation, the hope, the chance. It's a lot of pressure. And the devil waits for him to be born. And he might not know which kid in that generation it is, but they figure it out real quick. Because, yeah. I don't really think I've been here on the earth before. I think this is my first time. I really feel like it is. That's kind of what keeps my youthful spirit, maybe. Like a kind of childlike, even though I've seen and experienced more than a regular human's fair share of trauma and bearing witness to some awful things in the hands of people that were supposed to be protectors and leaders and trustworthy, that felt untouchable, and they kind of were at the time. More than a deployed, probably. I mean, really, though. I've had a conversation with a lot of cruelty, you know, that comes with that. It's just... So everybody needs to just really get in their head right now and clean it up. Be careful to the content you're listening to, and have faith. Faith is just being sure of what you hope for and certain of that you cannot see. And if you're not sure what you believe in, that's fine. But don't go picking up a bunch of shit on the internet thinking that, oh, I'm an atheist, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that. That's like renouncing God. That's saying you're renouncing him. But if you're not sure and your heart's open and it's pure and it really is innocent, and you're not trying to be lukewarm, or you're not falling for that bullshit demonic stuff, if it makes you feel a certain way, it's not God, and it's not something you need to put your ear gates and eye gates on, because our ears are not trash cans, and our eye gates need to be protected just like our ears do. And so I just want you to remember that this holiday season, because it's a hard time of year for everybody. And we're not the loner boner donation drop-off site either, so you could just remember that too, ladies. So until next time, the Angel of Authenticity reminding you to get real and stay that way.